Scrabble players talk a lot about 1 in a million things happening in their games. Just listen to me talking to the New Yorker about my most memorable play. The chance of him playing this exact word must be at least 1 in a million, probably 1 in many millions. But in over 1,800,000 tournament games of Scrabble played in North America, there's an incredible feat that's been achieved only once. That feat is an individual player scoring over 800 points in a single game. And it was accomplished by none other than former national and world champion Joel Sherman in a game that stands alone in Scrabble history. It's December 2011, and 40 players are gathered for a small regional event in Stamford, Connecticut. Joel is the top seed in the expert division, but there's plenty of other solid players in attendance to challenge him, including the previous year's school Scrabble champion, Bradley Robbins, who Joel is slated to play in round 1. Joel draws 6 vowels to start the game and elects to exchange all 7 of his tiles. Some players might keep an E here, but with 10 more lurking in the bag, exchanging everything to maximize his chances of drawing an S or a blank makes sense too. Bradley has good bingo tiles, but no 7-letter bingo, so he makes a very strong move here, just exchanging his U, leaving an excellent 6-tile combo for next turn. Joel draws the J and strikes first with Jowd for 48, but Bradley draws another S and plays his only available bingo of Isolates to retake the lead. From here, Joel goes on a rampage. First, he finds his highest scoring move of Crumpled with a blank L for 101 points, and after Bradley's solid response of Destiny for 32, Joel bingos a second time with Outrated for 72. He had Outtrade in the same spot for the same score, but he likely picked Outrated to avoid giving Bradley unnecessary hooks on the triple lane. Bradley draws the X and plays a heavy-hitting Wax for 56, but Joel's onslaught continues with the beautiful play of Cothurni, the plural of Cothurnus, the thick-soled boot used by actors in Greek tragedy. Bradley plays Pence for 30, bringing his score to a respectable 184 after 5 turns, one of which was an exchange. But there's nothing he can do about Joel playing his 4th bingo in a row with Travois for 95 points, giving him over 400 points with roughly half of the game still to play. But this scoring pace is completely unsustainable, right? Well, let's find out. After Bradley's Koi for 21, Joel has an interesting choice. Holding the Z, he makes a very clever play here of Glib for 18, setting up a huge spot to cash in his Z next turn with Biz for over 60 points with the right draw. Joel did also have the play of Bezel available here, but it retains the G on his rack with 2 more still to draw and creates an easy Q play for Bradley should he have it. These factors, combined with the potential payoff of the big Z spot, were enough to convince Joel to play Glib. Bradley is struggling with vowels and plays Ulu for just 3 points to balance his rack. It also blocks Joel from cashing his setup with Fizz and Biz for 69, but he has a solid option in Fez, keeping the synergistic SHING. Joel draws AK to that combo to threaten Shaking, which will play to the S hook with Ulu forming Sulu. But after Bradley plays Loeb for 23, which looks entirely reasonable here, Joel has an even heavier hitting spot for Shaking, hooking Globe for a whopping 111 points. Joel's good fortune continues as Bradley exchanges tiles while Joel draws the second blank. Without any playable bingos, Joel plays If for 32 instead of Diff for slightly more points, acknowledging the vowel overload in the unseen tiles and keeping an extra consonant. After Bradley plays Nada to dump 2 more vowels, Joel plays his only available bingo of Avenged for 84, bringing him within striking distance of 700 total points. Keep in mind that in the nearly 1,810,000 games of Tournament Scrabble played in North American history, only 55 of them have featured a player scoring 700 points or more, so this is an achievement in and of itself. Bradley makes the nice overlap of Fem for 30, leaving one tile in the bag and creating a tricky situation for Joel. Of course, the outcome of the game has long since been decided, but Joel has to determine how to handle the unseen cue. If he makes a play like Wilier alongside Avenged and draws the cue from the bag, Bradley will be able to block the only spot where the cue is playable. Tournament players call this a stick, and the cue is one of the likeliest tiles to be stuck with at the end of a game. To avoid this, Joel plays We for 13 points, keeping his eyes to better manage the cue if he should draw it, with several spots available to play Chi. It also threatens Airline with an A draw from the bag. And, of course, that's exactly what he draws. Normally, players at the expert level carefully track the tiles that have been played so they can strategize more effectively in the endgame. In Bradley's case, he stopped tracking long ago in this game, which I think we should forgive him for, considering Joel was up by literally 400 points. Given this, Bradley plays Porno, interfering with the new lane that Joel just opened with We, as well as blocking some possible bingos from the A and T of Outrated. After Porno, one spot for Airline is blocked, but Joel is still able to use the other one for a 75-point out bingo, bringing him to 779 points, but he then collects 24 more points from Bradley's unplayed AEQ, giving him a final score of a mind-boggling 803 points. This remains the only 800-point game in North American tournament history, and there's several remarkable things about it. First, all of the words played in the game were valid. Joel didn't benefit from Bradley playing a phony word, incorrectly challenging any of his words, or playing a phony word that was unchallenged. Secondly, Joel didn't play a triple-triple, or a play spanning 2 triple word squares. These are the highest scoring plays in Scrabble, and typically to score anywhere near 700 points, let alone 800, you'd need to land one of these incredibly damaging plays, as Bradley himself once did with retaxing for 266 points. Joel's highest score in this game was 111 points for shaking, which, while undoubtedly impressive, is shockingly low for a game in which he scored 800 total points. Amazingly, Joel didn't even win this tournament. That honor went to Mac Meller, who, at the age of 11 years old, became the youngest player in Scrabble history to achieve an 1800 rating. You should go follow him on YouTube, by the way. Joel ended up finishing a close second. But Joel has been long overdue to appear on Scrabble History. He's etched into Scrabble's record book as the only player from North America to win multiple North American championships and a world championship. And some of his performances in these events are incredible stories in their own right. But it's somehow fitting that Joel Sherman is also in the record book for one of Scrabble's true 1 in a million games.